Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you may find yourself as you listen to this, and welcome to the only multicultural podcast with brains and bars. Last week it was a black, white, and Hispanic thing. This week it is a black, white, and Asian thing. I am your host, A1. I also go my government name. As you can see on the screen, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this online, Carlos Johnson, but I go by A1. You can also call me Dan. You can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to soundcloud.com/brains and bars or going to the podcast app of your choice and searching Brains and Bars. You'll be able to find every episode of the podcast there. Recently launched a YouTube page. So if you want to go to YouTube, search Brains and Bars. By the way, that's all one word, Brains and Bars. You'll see 2 episodes of the podcast that have been loaded online. We'll work on getting all the rest of the 60-something plus episodes uploaded at some point in the future. But please go to youtube.com, search Brains and Bars, like, subscribe, and comment on the content there. Social media, again, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, search at Brains and Bars. You'll find us there as well. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, A.Ward, Mr. KOTD Battler of the Year.
Introduce me the right way today.
Battler of the Year, comma.
Christian.
Wow.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Doing wonderful. It's been a good week, man. I don't know about you, but with this whole quarantine thing, part of me says, man, like I feel like I've been inside for a while, but the other part of me working from home, like the weeks are actually kind of going by kind of quick. Like I just look up and the next thing I know it's Thursday or Friday. So it's a weird dynamic to the whole working from home. Like weeks don't seem like, dang, it's only Tuesday anymore, you know? But no, I've been good, bro. I've been good, doing well. A lot going on here. Y'all can follow me at IamAward.com. Just hit the website, click the social media hyperlinks, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, just doing well, staying healthy, family's good, life's good, and cannot wait until some kind of competitive sports something is back on TV.
All right.
You know, the draft teased us. Then the last dance is I'm enjoying it every Sunday, but gosh, I need basketball, I need football, I need something.
I hear you. All right, so and the third member of the squad for this podcast, the homie Jesse Abbey. I think this is your third time on the show. I think I remember you recording once at Trent's house, once in the studio on Tower 1, and then this is your third appearance. So Jesse Abbey, sir, how are you doing this evening?
Can't complain, man. Doing well. Just trying to keep it moving with the family. I mean, stay healthy. You know, it's crazy with allergy season being the same time as all this stuff because you got people looking crazy. You know, I'm one of them allergy people. So you sneeze or cough, people look at you weird. So. But, yeah, no, man.
I held a sneeze in at the Dollar Tree earlier today, man. I was just like in line. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to sneeze so bad. And I did not want everybody to. That's funny.
Crazy. And, you know, with Jesse's background, it forced us to all go put on our college team gear. He was trying to stunt on us with his Michigan-themed room.
Yeah, man. I got to get on that level. Next time we do this, look, I have not fixed the closet in my house, the bathroom, the main bedroom. I've been renovating all 3 of those. Next week when we film, I might have this whole room painted and everything done. It's going to be completely over.
All right, cool. So if you've been following the show any length of time, you know what happens next. If you're a first-time listener or watcher, welcome. We're glad to have you. But we start off each episode by going into what I've learned for this week. And I learned a couple of things, but one main thing. So, you know, 2 things. If you didn't know, by the way, A.Ward A1 KOTD Battler of the Year. I thought I would express that one more time. Shout out to him.
Congrats.
But you know, we've been talking battle rap. I'm in various different group chats that talk a lot of different things. We're talking battle rap. And there was a conversation that came up yesterday about, you know, URL and just the business side of things. And we got into talking about their app. And so a new battle just got released on the app. Not that I'm trying to promote for them, but New battle got released on the app. B. Dot versus Nitty. It's racking up some considerable buzz, particularly for B. Dot's rounds. People are saying B. Dot's rounds are crazy. I have the app. I have not watched it yet. But one of the things that I've learned this week is that the app is one. And this might be considered a hot take. First of all, I'm not a battle rap blogger. Let's go there. I'm a fan who has an opinion on battle rap right now.
Yeah. But
the URL app is one of the worst things to happen to battle rap. And the reason I say that is because it's stuck in the URL app only has but so many subscribers. So it's not like Netflix, right? Not like it's a worldwide thing where you have hundreds of millions of people who are tuned into it. When a fire battle drops on the app, you have the same about 30 to 40 people, at least on my timeline, right, that I can see. You've seen the same people talk about it, the same people blog about it. It's not, to me, from a business standpoint, it does not enhance URL business, does not make them better. Mike P's second round versus Danny is something that should be seen by the world. It's an incredible round. It's a fire round, 3 minutes of greatly crafted material, and it's on the app. No screenshots, no screen capturing allowed, or at least I've seen a few here and there, but nothing of major effect. That's a viral round. And in comparison, I'm going to make a comparison here. Big K versus Adi Boom, right? That round from Big K has gone everywhere. We're in the CHH business chat. These are not hardcore battle fans. They're more casual, some more hardcore than others. A casual fan posted that round from World Star into the chat to say, yo, check this out. Like, this is crazy. And I mean, like, again, I understand why URL did it. I salute them. It's a dope move, but they've got to figure out a way to make that content more accessible to outside fans to me, in order to grow the app and make it more, to expand their reach. That's my opinion. Like I said, I'm not a blogger. I'm not a fan. Don't jump in my mentions talking about you can't copy respect and it's just like this, that. Take it or leave it. But that's what I learned this week. All right, so y'all can hit me up. Like I said, y'all can hit me up, but don't refer to me as a blogger. Hit me up. Let me know what y'all think about that.
You're officially a blogger now.
Absolutely, man. Listen, I have no time. It's enough weirdos in battle. It's enough weirdos in battle rap that I block off GP at least once a week. That I do not want to be in that loop. Not that the blog is a weirdo.
Because I'm snipping this down and I'm sharing that mug with the title is the app the worst thing to happen to battle rap.
Yo, listen. Let me be clear. Bloggers are not weirdos. I'm speaking on social media. It's enough battle rap fans who are weirdos that I don't want them in my mentions. But anyway.
You mean like that dude that A.Ward was going back and forth with yesterday? Good Lord.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna stay away from that.
I got time today, man. This quarantine, you just be sitting at home and it's just like, oh man. The next thing you know, it's lunchtime. You're like, oh, that's what I did all morning. Let me chill.
Yeah. A.Ward, what are you looking forward to this week?
What am I looking forward to this week? Man, I am looking forward to a new, well, I guess I can't say this week. I'm looking forward to a new month. March and April, like we made it, like I'm in May now. Hopefully this is, the end of the third quarter, we're in the fourth quarter of something of whatever this is, So I'm looking forward to good weather. I'm looking forward to, being outside, continuing trying to create content. The one thing, I don't know if I said this on the last episode, but the one thing I've noticed so far from this quarantine as an artist is just how terrible of an artist I am. Like, all of my revenue and everything comes from like doing shows and being out and traveling and like merch and selling different things. And then you go and you get stuck at home and you can't leave your house. And it's like, man, my YouTube should be monetized. I should have things on Spotify, Apple Music. I should have, I should be getting some kind of revenue as an artist to where if something happens and I have to stay in the house for 6 to 8 weeks, that I'm not taking that much of a hit. So, but yeah, man, that's what I'm looking forward to. Of course, still paying close attention to a lot of the NFL news. Leonard Fournette, they decided not to pick up his 5th-year option today. The Jaguars did. Corey Davis got cut by the Titans, I think.
See that,
or maybe they declined to pick up his 5th-year option too. I don't know if they cut him, but NFL news, and then we touched on off air. I've been really just engaged in like high school football recruiting right now because it's the only thing I can really get excited about because it's like actually happening in real time. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that I always follow closely. So I've been like super in tune with that through social media and some of the recruiting things and battles and stuff that are going on. So excited for some more of that, man. And then hopefully one day somebody says, hey, something happened and we're good, and everybody wash your hands, brush your teeth, smile, and go watch football again.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Hopefully. So as a FYI, Corey Davis 5th-year option declined, still a Titan.
Okay, still a Titan. Okay,
still a Titan. Yep. All right, cool. So let us know, hit us up, man. Like I said, go to our social media at Brains and Bars, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Let us know what you learned this week. Also, shout out to our Facebook group. We are over 1,000 followers. So
nice.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So yeah, let's jump into today's show, man. We got just like I said, a couple of topics, not a whole lot to talk about. Let's get into the NFL draft first. Interesting having a quarantine draft, right? With everyone from work not being drafted from home, general managers at home. I mean, just your guys' overall thoughts, and then I got a couple of topics we can hit in particular. Overall thoughts on the setup of the draft. Any surprising picks, teams that you might have liked, any of that good stuff.
I'll let you go ahead, Jesse.
All right. Yeah, I to be honest with you, I really liked it, man, and I kind of hope they step forward with it like that because I felt like it was genuine. Like, you get to see people at home with the people they love instead of being surrounded at the table with the people they couldn't care less about or people they had to sit there with, and and I felt like the celebrations were just real. And so that was kind of cool to watch that, from that perspective where they could have their whole family there as opposed to just like, 3-4 people from their family. So I liked it. I'm going to let you, Carlos, take care of the other thing me and you talked about yesterday as far as the commissioner. But some surprising picks, man. I'm obviously a Detroit person, so I was surprised at how well they actually drafted Smart. I mean, I felt like they finally didn't outthink themselves and try to do the Patriot way, so to speak, which is driving me crazy because, everything they do seems to have to go through Bill Belichick first. I don't know why. We're terrible and we don't need to do that. We just need to get talent. And I felt like this year they finally actually got talent. But even further than that, I felt like most teams did a pretty dang good job of just making the right pick. Mm-hmm. They didn't overthink it because every year, unless you're the Raiders, of course, I still don't understand that that first round pick. I'll never get that, but they do it every year or every couple years. They want to pick the guy that can run the fastest, but then they realize they don't have the quarterback that can throw the guy open. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's a strange situation with them. Obviously, the Green Bay Packers pick, I guess it's kind of shocking, but is it really? I mean, they're not having him. They're not going to expect him to play like right now.
Yeah.
But. If you're Rodgers, can you really be mad because it's the same exact thing that happened?
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer that question in a second. Can you be mad?
And then my last thing with the Chiefs, a lot of people were dumbfounded. I guess a lot of people were happy, but there was a lot of people that questioned the running back thing. And I mean, I like it. I mean, I don't think you can ever. It's not in this day. I think you need to have multiple running backs. And especially a running back like that completely fits the system. I mean,
yeah.
They're one running, one injury away from being down to nothing, And so to have multiple people, and then by the time the playoffs come around, you're not worn down. You're not, 8,000 carries into the season, and then you can't perform in the playoffs. So they're going to be fully fresh by the time that comes around. So I thought it was good though.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, no, I really enjoyed watching players get, picked from their houses, and I thought the transitions of, of going to, the players, I thought the whole everybody having a earbud in each other's ear thing was kind of annoying. It seemed like all the interviews they did, like you had to have like, you're kind of like doing like this. So, of course they could clean up a few different things in regards to that. I do know that, like they had mentioned that they sent, a hat for every team to each of the players' house, I'm assuming,
Mhm.
Um, and so I thought that was pretty cool. Um, I do like the element of being at the table with your coach, that's been with you for the last 4 years, and I do like the idea of this the hugs and seeing your mom all dressed up and I kind of like that. I know it does give it like that. It kind of like we're going to prom, it's like that factor or whatever. I don't dislike that at all. I like it. I like seeing the guys open their suits with all of their stuff on the insides of it and seeing how they dress. And I think it gives them character. And it also is like it's just a reward. It's just like when you win the Heisman Trophy and you're invited to the Heisman Trophy ceremony, and you get to dress up and you get to sit there. It's kind of like an accumulation of 4 years of college, getting invited to a combine, getting invited to, if you're a first or second round pick, to the actual draft is like a reward. So I don't know how they would use both of those. I don't know. I don't know how if they could in the future, but I definitely saw things from both that I liked. As
Mhm.
far as picks are concerned, there's a few picks that that I'm the same on. I'm the same with you. The quarterback pick from Green Bay it was just a total like what, like, you know what I mean, like it just, I mean, Green Bay, as much as Aaron Jones came on last year, like Green Bay does not have offensive weapons. Like they just don't. Like I don't even think Aaron Jones would be considered a weapon. Like I think Aaron Jones benefits from like some play calling and just different types of things. I mean, I think he's a very quality back, but I don't consider him like somebody that you um what's the word for it, that you
Game plan?
game plan for Aaron Jones. So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, Green Bay picking a quarterback like that high with, I mean, they haven't had any like since Jordy and Adams and I guess Cobb were all kind of like, I guess Adams would have been a rookie and Jordy and Cobb would have been, kind of prime-ish. They really haven't had anything running like a well-oiled machine. And I think there was tons of like wide receivers in different positions
Oh,
that they could have, went at. So that was definitely a shock. A pick that I really liked was I like Jalen Hurts to the Eagles. I thought that was a really good pick, man. And I would not be surprised if, Matt Stafford's protege, Carson Wentz, the other guy that gets hurt every seventh game, I would not be surprised if Hurts was, thrown into action, not by choice, but, so I think he'll fit really good with the Eagles. Some other picks that I was that I really liked. I mean, I don't think anybody goes wrong picking CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy. I thought both of those. I thought they were the two best wide receivers in the draft. I thought the Vikings getting Justin Jeff. I thought the Vikings drafted very well. I thought they got Justin Jefferson was a great pick to put in there since Stephon Diggs left. And the Chiefs I thought did okay. Like I liked their first pick, and I really like their second round pick, Willie Gay Jr. My goodness, I think that dude has the ability to be a stud, and I think he's going to be like. There's always that one pick each year, that they have. Where you're just like, okay, that was kind of like a steal. Even Tyreek Hill, when he came on from being he's a second or third round pick, and I mean Kareem Hunt too, so I think that Willie Gay Jr. has the ability to be that.
Hey, real quick.
Mhm.
So, what are your thoughts? You say CeeDee Lamb. I'm not saying he's not going to be a great receiver or anything like that, but what Oklahoma receivers have, and maybe it's just skipping my brain because I feel like they've always, have receivers that put up crazy numbers because of the system. But what do they do in the pros? I can't remember, and it's probably someone so obvious that it's just skipping my brain. But
I don't think it's anybody too obvious. I mean, because the kid you have to ask yourself, is D.D. Westbrook the real deal? But look who he has throwing him the ball, down in Jacksonville.
I mean, Kenny Stills is the only one that comes off top.
Yeah.
He's only okay. I mean, Hollywood Brown showed potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Really,
okay.
man.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, like I know exactly what you mean in regards to that, and you could say the same for Michigan State wide receivers picked in the first round, for Detroit Lion fans,
Like Charles Rogers. Yeah, all
No, I'm with you on that. But I just seeing his tape and just seeing kind of like what he did at the combine and stuff, I just felt like I thought the same that you thought with the Raiders. Like Ruggs was not the guy that. But like A1 will always tell you, it's a copycat league, and the Broncos and the Raiders, you could see them both drafting their hearts out to try to keep up with the offensive power that the Kansas City Chiefs have. So
Didn't the Broncos get 3 receivers?
yeah, I think they did. I
Yeah,
think they picked up.
man. Yeah, that ain't weird, man. Like them in the second, they got the kid Bowden from
Missouri.
Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky. Oh yeah, Lynn Bowden. Hey, I like Lynn Bowden. He's a football player, but
I like Lynn Bowden.
I don't know
too.
if he'll be a great NFL player, but he's definitely a football player's player.
But like they went straight from Lynn Bowden, and then hold on, let me pull it up here because I'm really close to the.
Wasn't it back-to-back picks? Did they got
It
the
was
Arizona State?
back-to-back picks.
They
did
Arizona State.
Like early. Like they got 3 of them bad boys pretty early, it seemed like.
Yeah.
So, dang, I thought I was there. Did I pass Oakland?
I know
I
I
saw
got Vegas now. I'm looking for Oakland. That's why I can't find
Oh,
it.
that's right. I know I saw a tweet that said reunited, and it had Drew Lock and his receiver from Missouri, and I was just like, you know what? Like, Drew Lock and his receiver from Missouri being reunited is not really anything tweet-worthy. Like, we're not talking about, like Johnny Manziel and Mike Evans or something, like some crazy 1-2 connection, where they're or something like that from college.
Their first four picks, right? 3 wide receivers are taken: Henry Ruggs, Lynn Bowden Jr., and then with the very next pick, they went and got Brian Edwards from South Carolina. Now, I heard good things about Brian Edwards from South Carolina, but I'm not. I mean, maybe they were just that devoid of good wide receiver talent that they felt like they had to go get 3 of them things, in their first 4 picks. But we'll see, because the odds of you hitting on each one of those are what?
Slim.
25%, 20.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like, so if you hit on one of them, cool. But if you only hit on one and you want it to be your first round pick because of what you invested in terms of where you drafted him, like what else? If those other 2 guys don't pan out, then what did you? That's a waste. That's a waste of a first half of the draft.
Yeah, that's
I taking those 3 guys that high. So I don't. Yeah. The between Oakland drafting 3 wide receivers and drafting every available Clemson player they could find,
like last year.
Like last year,
Yeah.
So, I mean, they got a linebacker from Clemson. They got a guard from Clemson to go with Cleveland Farrell and Hunter Renfrow. So I think I've already seen somebody call them the Las Vegas Tigers.
Hey, see, and that's the crazy thing. To go back to Ruggs real quick, there's dudes that are back in Alabama right now, getting ready probably for next year's draft that I think are better than him easily.
I don't know, man. I think Ruggs is really good. I don't know how great he'll be. I don't know. I know they're trying to find like their Tyreek Hill, right? And I don't know if he's Tyreek Hill fast.
Right.
I feel like Tyreek Hill has that quick burst.
Yeah.
Where Ruggs is more so once he gets the top speed, if you haven't caught him, you're in trouble. But if you can get him before he hits top speed, I think you can still catch him. But I just feel like Tyreek just kind of goes from 0 to 100 in like 2.3 seconds, where it might take Ruggs.
It's a different thing. Yeah, it's a completely different thing. I mean, you being fast is not the same as being quick, because you can make arguments that a lot of NFL guys, maybe not the fastest guys, but they're quick off the line and they can get whatever they want. Whereas a guy that's really fast but not as quick, it's not hard to shut that down.
Absolutely. So, couple of things I want to hit on the draft. I thought the virtual draft was cool. Obviously, one of the highlights for me was my man Raj. Friday night, it's like 10:30. It's probably 10:30, 11:30, going on midnight.
He was just posted up.
Hey, the boy Raj was done. My man was done. He was ready. Like I at one point expected Raj to be in the chair with the cup, like
like dipping some Oreos.
Yeah,
like he should have had some Oreos.
With the 100th pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
The Oakland Raiders, like my man was ready for a nap. He was ready for bed. I do salute him and putting in all that work and standing up for hours to announce those picks. Normally, I think he's done after the second round.
Yeah.
So, salute to him. Salute to
him for forfeiting his money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I give Rob, that 40+ million.
Yeah.
Hey, salute. Like, I don't know if I would have gave it up, but hey, do your
maybe
thing.
half.
Right.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I did not enjoy ESPN pulling out every disturbing fact about these draft picks.
Yeah, that was brutal.
The greatest day of his life. And also his mother struggled with crack cocaine for 16 years. Like, come on, fam. Like, and I figured it was it T. Higgins, I think, who that particular factor or something similar to that was about. And he said, listen, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm proud of what my mom has overcome. And that's great. But I just don't want you announcing to the world like all my dirty laundry.
If they didn't okay that with me ahead of time, like, oh no, like that, I would be a suit. Like that's slander or libel or something. Like, come on, man, you know what I mean? Like,
don't put my business out in the streets.
Yeah,
don't put my business out in the streets. So I thought that was kind of a little bit distasteful. It was cringy. I didn't need that. I hope they don't bring that back next year, regardless of if we have another virtual draft or if we're live and in person. I don't mean to interrupt. I don't know if you're like you. Like, I felt like they were reaching for content because I wonder if they were just so worried about this whole virtual thing that they were just like, you know what, we can't just have the camera on a guy talking right now. Whereas we normally would be going around the table. We have to, because it seemed like they were trying to find a backstory on everybody. They were just like, this kid's adopted. Mm-hmm. This kid lived in his car. This kid did, this kid did. And it's like, man, like, okay, like, since when did this become a, Lifetime movie?
Right, Lifetime.
And so I think they were searching for content, something to keep the time going. I feel like they spent too much time in between picks. Like, I felt like there was too much breakdown of stuff, too many interviews. Like, I felt this draft, I thought the draft was moving in the first round, and then turned around and looked, and it was 11:30 at night. And I'm like, this shouldn't take this long to get through 32 picks. So I would like to see them be a little bit more timely. Hopefully Raj reclining back in that chair gave him some time to think and go, we need to somehow speed this process up.
That's a fact.
In terms of teams, I thought that had a good draft. The Ravens, I equate the Ravens to, and when you play fantasy football, and if you're in the league with guys and you're with them every year, it's the same group of guys, and there's always that one guy that always does a good job drafting. Every year. In our league, it's a guy named Storm. Storm is a great, it seems like when you finish a draft, you're looking at Storm's team, you're going, dang, he did it again.
Yeah.
Like, how? And I look at what they did, getting Patrick Queen, getting J.K. Dobbins, getting Devin Duvernay from Texas, Malik Harris. Like, I just feel like I like their picks. I like a lot of what they did in the draft. I like what the Cowboys. Yeah. Go ahead.
So Dobbins, oh my God, in that backfield with that offense, that's just like Ohio State light right there.
You got nice things to say about Dobbins?
I know, I hate it, man. I hate it. But when they drafted him, I was like, wow, that is like the perfect spot for him.
I mean, like Ingram obviously did so well with Kamara with the 1-2 punch. Like, if you throw Dobbins back there and still have Ingram.
Yeah. I mean, I like what the Cardinals did, getting Isaiah Simmons falling in your lap at number 8.
Oh,
yeah,
getting
man.
Josh Jones from Houston, who people thought was a first-round draft pick in the 3rd round. So, I mean, I think there were a lot of teams that did some good things. I being, in Kansas City. Oh, hold on. Before I get to Kansas City, San Francisco, I really like what they did. I really
they had a GOAT, 7th round pick.
Man.
Oh, my gosh. The GOAT.
But they got, they get their guy to replace Buckner in Kinlaw. They go get the wide receiver that they want. Not the guy that I would have chosen, but I've heard good things about. But then get in the trade for Trent Williams and only giving up a 3rd and a 5th round pick when people thought the speculation was that it was going to be a 1st round pick that they were going to have to give up to get Trent Williams. He already knows the offense. He's familiar, comfortable with the offense, so there's not a huge learning curve there. I thought they had a really good draft. But then the Chiefs getting Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who was a guy, hey, listen, Nostradamus strikes again. I said, hey, Chiefs fans, this might be a guy that your team might target and might go grab. And I said second round, but I did also say that he was rising up the draft board. So, they get Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And if you give me a second just to jump on my soapbox real quick, I'm a nerd. I make no bones about this. I'm open and honest about my nerdness, right? We have gone too far in devaluing running backs. I understand that, quote unquote, you can get them anywhere. I understand there have been success stories with running backs. Me and Jesse were on the phone talking about this. It was yesterday, right?
Yesterday.
We were on the phone talking about this, and I understand that you can find them anywhere, but we spend far too much time hyping up the success stories and not talking about all those guys that get drafted in the second and third round that don't work out, and we just cherry pick. Hey, Philip for the Broncos. Philip Lindsay.
Lindsay, yeah.
Undrafted guy. Matt Breida, undrafted guy. Damian Williams, he's contributing to a Super Bowl team. He was either late round or undrafted guy to Miami. We spend so much time hyping up these stories and poo-pooing guys who get drafted top 10 into the first round. Yes, I said poo-pooing. We end up trashing these guys so much that we just overlook how good they are. And then if the team isn't successful, well, it's that running back's fault for not making that team great when it's still a team sport. You can't tell me football is the ultimate team sport and yet look at drafting Saquon Barkley in the second round as the reason why you're successful. The Giants aren't successful because they haven't done well in the draft and in free agency. All of this stuff matters. All of this stuff matters.
What I say about those dudes?
I'll let you say it. I'm not gonna say it.
I said, A-Ward. So I was talking to him. He was like, yeah, because I said, you must have watched that PFF podcast or video thing that they were doing, right? And I said, those are the dudes that never had a touch from a woman and never played sports in their life, making all these crazy comments. Ridiculous. You never hear people that play the sports talk like that, man.
Right.
Listen, I didn't play football. I never played football organized, but I'm not gonna be as audacious to say that the Chiefs drafting who everyone thought was a perfect fit for them was a bad pick simply because they got him in the first round and not the third. I put on our Twitter account, at Brains and Bars on Twitter, that if Clyde Edwards-Helaire ends up becoming Maurice Jones-Drew, right? At best, if that's what he becomes at best, and the Chiefs are able to make deep playoff runs, maybe get another Super Bowl appearance, that's great value, especially for 4 years and $10 million with an option to have him under your team control for a fifth season if you so choose. If Clyde Edwards-Helaire doesn't work out for you when you're drafting him at 32, basically it's like having Damian Williams. Mm-hmm. It didn't, because Damian Williams is signed up for 2 years, $5 million, $2.5 million a year. Clyde's contract is a 4-year, $10 million with a 5th-year option. It's the same money. So what is the big deal if this guy doesn't work out? Every pick is going to be successful based on their own talent, luck, the organization, and the team around them. Yeah. So whether or not a pick is successful is based on those things, not just whether or not they win the Super Bowl or how far they go, so on and so forth. So I don't know, man. You guys can tell me what you think. Hit us up at Brains and Bars. What do you think about running backs and where they should be drafted?
Let's not do this NFL draft a disservice and go around the horn per se and not discuss the reason why we were there, on Thursday night. Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, however you pronounce his name.
Right.
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoanist. All right. Tua Tagovailoa. All right. What I'm saying is, one, is Burrow the real deal? I think he's very, very good. But like you just said, it's about what team you go to. It's about, Two, Tua. Does he come out? Does he start? Do you start him immediately? He's a top, 5 pick? Was he picked 5th, I think, by the Dolphins? Or do you sit him behind, Fitz Magic for a few games? What are your thoughts on the 2 quarterbacks taken? And then also, what are your thoughts on Jake Fromm falling basically all the way to what, 5th round? Came out early for Georgia, and we're talking about Jake Fromm, the Jake Fromm that Georgia decided to pick over Justin Fields. Over Justin Fields and let Justin Fields, you know what I mean? Like, so they took Jake Fromm over Eason, right? Eason, yeah. And then Justin Fields ends up transferring because they're going to stick with Jake Fromm. So yeah. What are your thoughts on the quarterbacks that were taken, the quarterbacks that slipped, fell, this quarterback class in general?
I'll be honest with you. I had seen it from a lot of Detroit people that wanted Detroit to take Tua. And I would not have been upset about it, even at the worst part of it, just to trade him, to get something, back off of them for the teams that wanted them below them. But even still, I think, if you look at a pro system, Alabama probably runs the closest thing to a pro system, right? And you get a guy that's super accurate, good dude. He's not a head case. He doesn't, seems to be loved by everyone.
Yeah.
And
till you get to Miami. Let me just
tell
you, it's not Tuscaloosa.
Man.
I know you're from Hawaii, but I've been to Miami a couple times, and it's not Tuscaloosa.
No, so I mean, as a Detroit fan, I wish they would have took him, sat him for a year, and then see whatever. But with Burrows, I don't know, man. Like, he had arguably the greatest season, by any quarterback. I mean, you could make that argument. But like you said, I mean, who are you throwing to down there, and who's your defense down there compared to who you going to in Cincinnati? That's terrible. Like, you're set up to fail right there, because Cincinnati couldn't do anything even when they had a good roster. Other than go out in the first round of the playoffs. With the rest of the quarterbacks, I don't know. Like Herbert, I don't.
Yeah.
To me, he's and I just, there was really nothing about anyone but.
Uh-oh.
Yep, there went your audio.
Hey, Jesse. Hold on. Your audio went out. You still there?
You might try to refresh it.
All right, here we go.
No, yeah, I just said, one of those guys that's in the bottom of that, one of those quarterbacks that were below those two will end up being the stud out of this whole thing, just because of the situation that they're put in compared to guys that are going to terrible teams. It almost always never works out for good quarterbacks to go to a terrible team. They always have to go somewhere else to be good, so you get a kid.
I remember this one time a quarterback went to a
terrible
team.
Here we go.
Look, his rookie year, they went 3-13. Actually, he set the record for most interceptions thrown in a year. Oh, man. Some people are just not built to be, GOATs, certified, legendary, franchise turning around. It didn't matter who picked you. It didn't matter. This is the exception to everything A1 just said about picks and teams and everything. It did not matter. The GOAT of all GOATs, the Heisman Trophy runner-up, Peyton Manning. No, but see, that's the thing. Man, when I watched Joe Burrow, bro, when I tell you, man, the dude had weapons, but he put the ball on the money. When he needed to make plays, he kept his head up when he's scrambling, and he put the ball on the money. And I was just like, golly, I can't hate on this,
Yeah, so let me say this about first-round quarterbacks. So I pulled some stats up on Twitter, and I'm doing this from the top of my head. So from 2008 to 2017, 27 quarterbacks are drafted in those 10 years. Of that number, 5 of them, I believe, made the Super Bowl. Only 2 won a Super Bowl. That's Flacco and Mahomes. There's only like 5 or 6 all-pro selections between them, right? Now, if you had that stat for any other position, you would be saying it's overrated to draft X position in the first round, and especially high. But because it's quarterbacks, you see people, the Packers, stupidly, in my opinion. Now, granted, Jordan Love might end up being a really good football player. But to me, you're still chasing titles. You're still trying to win a title. So taking him in the first round is crazy to me. But Miami, I like Miami taking a risk. It is a risk to take Tua because you just don't know what type of quarterback you're going to be getting. And maybe I would not play Tua at all this year. Like I would sit him out, let him redshirt, let Fitzpatrick either be Fitzmagic or Fitz dumpster juice, whichever one he's going to be. Let him be that guy. Justin Herbert. This is speculating. Like I'm not operating off of any numbers based. I feel like Justin Herbert is going to be Jimmy Garoppolo-ish, right? Where right now with Jimmy, if you give him, he's like Alex Smith Jr. You give Jimmy perfect conditions, Jimmy can make a play for you. Things start to get a little muddy. Jimmy's not the quarterback you want when things get, when he can't get a perfect window or someone's wide open. That's what I think of Justin Herbert. I agree with you on Burrow. Burrow had talent, but Burrow was throwing guys open. Burrow was throwing the ball in some tight windows. And so I'm interested to see once he gets to that next level. Who's the former UCLA head coach? Used to coach at Colorado, coached at Washington. Rick Neuheisel compared him to Tom Brady.
Don't do that. I can't stand
Come on, man.
He did. He compared him to Tom Brady. And so, but I will say Burrow has confidence. He's definitely got swag. I forget who was on. I think it was, Fowler. Fowler was on, and I can't think of his first name. Please forgive me. From ESPN.
Chris Fowler?
Chris Fowler. Thank you. I was going to call him Kirk Fowler, and I knew that wasn't right, so I held back. But Chris Fowler was on, and he said, listen, the one thing I can say about Burrow is he is confident, borderline arrogant. Like he's just really he's really confident in his skills. And
Sounds like what you need in a quarterback.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that helps him in the next level, especially playing for Cincinnati, who I think had a good draft, right? They get T. Higgins in the second round. They got AJ Smith. They have AJ Green for one more year. At least. So I'm interested to see what he can do if we have football this year.
Is there more pressure for him being the hometown kid playing in the hometown state?
I don't think so. I feel like he's too far away. Like he's like 2-3 hours away. Like if he grew up in Cincinnati, that's one thing. He didn't play for Ohio State, right? He left the state. I don't think there's pressure because he's the number one pick. Right? I think there's that pressure, and that's probably pressure enough right there, but he's playing for the Bengals. Like, he didn't go to New England. He didn't go to, like, one of the glamour franchises. He didn't go to New York to play for the Giants or the Raiders. Like, he went there. He went to Oakland. Not Oakland. He went to Cincinnati. So, I don't think there's pressure on him to have to be anything other than he is. And the team isn't any good, right? So there's not like there's any pressure for him to take a team that just missed the playoffs, right? Or that was one piece away and make them something they're not.
Right.
So anything else you guys want to say about the draft?
Yes, of course. Anytime I get to throw a petty shot at anybody, I make sure that I get it, I get it in there. One player went undrafted and unsigned as a free agent. That was invited to the NFL Combine, and he was coached by the QB whisperer himself.
Oh, hey, we can't be. I'm so glad the Shea Patterson era is done. Not good. He was not good to me, man. He killed me.
Oh, man.
I'm going to tell you, I saw a tweet from Jeff. It might have been Jeff Schwartz, who was Mitchell Schwartz's brother, former offensive lineman, leading Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants. And he goes, "This is the most beautiful most beautiful pocket I've ever seen in my life." And you see the pocket. Shea Patterson back there. The pocket is beautiful. It's perfect. Mm-hmm. They destroyed, like the interior lineman destroyed the guys who were on the rush. He could have stood there for 5, 6, 7 minutes before he had to do anything. He all of a sudden decides to break the pocket.
Yeah.
He broke the pocket and ran into pressure. Yeah. And I'm just like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing?
So why were Michigan fans wanting McCaffrey, Dylan McCaffrey, the younger McCaffrey brother, or Joe Milton? God bless it. They can't be any worse. And I say that. And I say that. Now, to what you were saying, I think Michigan had 4 offensive linemen drafted.
Nice.
And so you got that, and you're the quarterback that they're showing tapes. There's a reason why. I mean, there's a billion hours of tape on that guy, and he did that all the time. But the problem with that was he would.
Oh, that's what happens when you start cussing on the show. It just, you know, I understand how you feel about Michigan football right now, and maybe it was necessary that it bleeped you out.
You back, Jesse? You good? Up, can you hear me?
No, I'm here. I don't know why I keep. I know y'all saying something smart though.
All right, cool. So hit us up, man, at Brands and Bars on Twitter. Let us know what you think about the NFL draft. Who were your favorite?
Juwan Jennings. That's all you need to know.
7th round, the 49ers take Juwan Jennings, who I do like, who had a terrible combine. But you know, hopefully he can. I think I saw, you might have liked the tweet, but it was from David Lombardi. He's like, he took a screenshot and he goes, this ended up being a touchdown. And it's like, Juwan Jennings is surrounded by 3 South Carolina Gamecocks, like 30 yards away from the end zone. And he just kept showing still shots of him just kind of breaking tackles as he made his way to the end zone. So, I like Juwan Jennings.
Listen, like, I'm super, super Tennessee Volunteer biased, you know, but like, there's also some players that you just know are going to be good. You know, like Eric Berry's instantly like my favorite players, first-round draft pick and stuff like that. But then, I mean, you know, as you watch Michigan and as you watch Notre Dame, there's just guys that like that you just root for to please just make a team, and you know what I mean. And like that is like the kind of like situation with him being drafted in the 7th round and stuff. I'm just like, man, please, just, you know, find some way to make this squad. If you got to be on the special teams for a while or whatever, like, I just want him to, you know, I want him to be successful because that dude is like Tennessee Vol through and through. And the Tennessee Volunteers are back, bro. You don't hear me say this. Listen, you don't hear me say this.
Okay, Loso.
I'm pessimistic. Listen, the last 6 wins in a row to finish the season. The last game we lost, we should have beat Alabama. Tua-less Alabama, all right? But, you know, our quarterback decided to freaking change the play on the 1-yard line and try to be Leroy Jenkins, the hero. But top 5 recruiting right now. This dude, I like Jeremy Pruitt, man. I like him. I think he develops talent. I'm not sold on his in-game coaching yet. Like, in the game, I'm not sold completely on him as an in-game coach. But I think he's developing talent. And I think here in about 3 years, when we're talking about, we're going to say, hey, Tennessee had 4 offensive linemen drafted. You're going to have 8, 9, 10 of these guys again, like we're used to. We're not sitting here talking about we had a 2nd round and we had Juwan Jennings. That's all we had from, you know, what Butch Jones put together in his, you know, development.
And so from a Michigan perspective, you look at, I want to say it was like there was some stat or some weird thing that someone put out, like the last 4 or 5 years, the amount of people drafted, and Michigan's like 5th.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are like, okay, Harbaugh.
Yeah, what's the deal?
What are you doing? So he's getting him to the league, but what are you doing in the game?
Right. And that's the knock on Georgia. You know, Georgia's like always finds a way to lose the game that they shouldn't lose. And it's like, okay, Kirby Smart, like, like, you know, all of these Georgia Bulldog guys are going to the pro, All-American, becoming great players. You had Chubb, you just had Swift, you had who was the other kid? The Patriots, Michelle. Then you got the receivers too. You got Mecole Hardman. You got, my goodness, Roquan Smith. The list is just continue to go on for like these players. So it's like
you got Swift's dad. You seen that video?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, you see the video of Swift's dad from Georgia, the running back?
No,
you didn't see the holy cow. Don't look him up on your phone real quick. Good Lord.
Yeah. But now what I was gonna say is no school personified. How did they not win a championship more than LSU though? Like LSU
12, right? That
was putting out. I mean, not just this year, right? Obviously this year they won the championship, but in previous years, you know, you're looking at Odell Beckham, you're looking at Jarvis Landry, La'el Collins on the offensive line.
Quarterback.
I think Quan Alexander went to LSU. So you're looking at all this talent all across the board for LSU, excelling in the NFL, and you're going, How did they not win the title? And you're right? The quarterback, right? They finally got a system in place, got the right quarterback, and they ended up winning the title. So y'all let us know what y'all think about the NFL draft, favorite picks, favorite teams, who screwed up, kind of project what you see happening down the line. Hit us up, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, search @Brains and Bars, all one word. You can let us know what you think.